Hello, boys and girls. Mr. Pallister here. So nice to see you. Pretty comfortable on this cool fall night. I got a great story for you about animals. What do plants and animals need? Learn that plants need air, water, sunlight, nutrients, and space to grow. Most green plants are producers. Say producers. A producer is a living thing that can make its own food. Animals need air, water, shelter, and space to live. Animals need food. Animals are consumers. Say consumer. A consumer cannot make its own food. Consumers get food from their habitat. These giraffes are consumers. Different needs. Many plants and animals live together in a habitat. Plants and animals depend on each other and their habitat to meet their needs. Large animals often need a lot of water, food, and space. Large animals need a large shelter. Small animals often do not need as much to eat and drink as large animals. Small animals can live in small spaces. These plants and animals live in the same habitat. These animals both need water. Which animal do you think needs more water? What do you guys think? The muskox or the warthog? Sometimes a habitat does not have enough food for all the animals that live there. When this happens, some of the animals might die. It's true. How do plants and animals get food in grassland? All living things need food. Most plants make food. Some animals eat plants. Other animals eat those animals. This is called a food chain. Say food chain. Food chains start with the sun. Plants use energy from the sun to make food. Animals get energy from the food they eat. Look at the pictures of the food chain. Energy passes from sunlight to the mountain lion. The corn plant uses water, air, and energy from sunlight to make food. Crunch! The vole eats the corn for energy. So the vole's got energy from the corn, and the corn's got energy from the sun. Gulp! The coyote eats the vole. The vole is the coyote's prey. So the coyote is getting its energy from the vole, who got his energy from the corn, who got his energy from the sun. Oh, look at this one. Pounce! The mountain lion catches and eats the coyote. So the mountain lion is getting its energy from the coyote. So this is a food chain. Everyone matters in the food chain. All food chains have predators and prey. A predator is an animal that catches and eats other animals. Prey is an animal that is caught and eaten. Look at the animal in the food chain. The coyote and the mountain lion are predators. Which animals are their prey? The prey would be the vole. A food web in a grassland. Habitats usually have more than one food chain. The food chains in a habitat make up a food web. The plants and animals in a food web need each other for energy. This is true. These pages show a food web in a grassland. Energy passes from sunlight to the corn. Use your finger to trace how energy moves from the corn to the vole to the fox. This is one food chain. What are other food chains? What other food chains can you find on these two pages? All right, so we got a lot going on here. So as we said, the corn plant gets energy from the sun, and the vole and the raccoon eat the corn. Now the fox will eat the vole and get that energy. The coyote will eat the vole to get the energy. And the hawk will also eat the vole for energy. And the mountain lion will eat the coyote. Big food web. How do plants and animals get food in an ocean? An ocean has food chains and food webs, too. Many different plants and animals live in an ocean. This picture on these pages shows an ocean food chain. Kelp grows in an ocean. Kelp uses energy from sunlight to make food. Sea urchins eat kelp. So the urchins get the energy from the kelp, which is a plant. Crunch. A sea star eats a sea urchin, and the sea stars get energy from the sea urchin. Oh, look at him chow down. I love otters. I told you guys prairie dogs are my favorite, but I love otters too. Chomp. The sea otter eats the sea star. The sea otter gets the energy it needs from the sea star. And remember, the energy is passed through each step in a food chain. Trace how energy in this food chain passes from the sun to the sea otter. A food web in an ocean. Look at this simple ocean food web. Energy passes from sunlight to the kelp. Use your finger to trace the food chains. How many food chains can you count? All right, so the kelp gets its energy from the sun. The kelp crab, eats the kelp and gets the energy. The sea urchin also eats the kelp. The sea star eats the sea urchin. The sea otter eats the sea urchin and the kelp crab. And the sea gull eats the sea urchin, the sea star, to get the energy. And the sea otter is eaten by the orca. The orca is getting his energy from the sea otter. So this is fascinating to know, boys and girls, because if like pollution affected our oceans and there was no kelp, well then the crab wouldn't have anything to eat. And if the crab didn't have anything to eat, the sea otter wouldn't have anything to eat. And if the sea otter didn't have anything to eat, the orca wouldn't have anything to eat. So, as I said before, every animal matters, and we have to take care of this planet. These otters were covered with oil from an oil spill. No. People washed the oil off this otter's fur. Oh, that's good. What can cause a food web to change? Many things can cause changes in a food web. Some changes may make it hard for plants and animals to survive. Parts of the food web may be harmed or even die. People can cause a food web to change. The picture shows an oil spill. Many plants and animals were covered with oil. This ship had an accident. Oil spilled from the ship into the ocean. People worked together to wash the oil off the animals. People helped to clean the water. Many people made the water safe again for plants and animals that live there. I always want to be a helper. You too, right, guys? How do plants and animals help each other? Sometimes plants and animals help each other. Some animals get shelter from plants. These ants live inside of a cicada plant. The ants protect the cicada plant from animals that might eat it. If another animal tries to eat this plant, the ants will bite them on the nose. Ooh. These cardinal fish stay close to the sea urchin. The cardinal fish? Some animals get protection from other animals. Find the cardinal fish in the picture above. Cardinal fish live near sea urchins. The sharp spines on the sea urchin protect the fish. The fish do not help or hurt the sea urchin. Just work living together. Coexist. Building nest. Some animals depend on plants and other animals to build nest. Some animals use parts of plants. Some animals use feathers or fur from other animals to build their nest. Look at the picture of the squirrel's nest. Twigs and leaves are on the outside of the nest. Dried grass, bark, feathers, and wool are on the inside of the nest. The mass weaver makes a nest from plant parts. Some owls that live in the desert build their nest in a cactus. Wow. Oh, that's a squirrel nest. Animals need each other. Animals need each other for many reasons. The remora fish in the picture below takes a ride with a blue shark. When the shark eats, the remora fish eats the leftovers. The remora does not hurt or help the shark. The remora is right here where my finger is. It's right underneath it. The big blue shark scares predators away from the little remora. There we go. A bird called an egret sits on top of the rhinoceros. The egret eats flies that might hurt the rhino. That is interesting. What do you have here? Boxer crabs can hold an anemone in each claw. They use the anemone to sting predators. An anemone is a sea animal. That is so clever. How does the crab know that? Absolutely amazing. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this science lesson today. I absolutely love science, and I think it's going to be a great day. All right, boys and girls, I'm going to see you soon.